The playoffs of Stage 1 of VCT Americas are here, and I have no clue which team is actually good. So let's get into my power rankings and Pickems. But first up, let's take a quick look at the ELO ratings. And so the highest ELO rating still has G2 by quite a large amount. Then NRG, 100 Thieves, Lev, Envy, who are quite high up after their win versus MIBR. Then Furia, Crew, MIBR, who are really damn low because of their loss to Envy, because of how dominant it was, because of that Envy is a bit too high up and MIBR a bit too low. Then Sentinels, Cloud9, Loud, and EG. Yeah, these ELO ratings aren't like I don't think they're really representative. They might be. I've got no clue which team is actually good. But yeah, because there were so many upsets, it's kind of really hard for the ELO rating to develop in a way that it would be representative of how good these teams are. So yeah, this is the ELO rating coming in. But yeah, also a lot of the teams have not played Fracture, so that also makes it kind of hard for the ELO rating to be accurate. But yeah, let's now look at my power ranking that I did at the start of Stage 1. So when we look at my power rankings, in ST I had NRG, MIBR, and G2, and then in A tier 100 Thieves, Furia, and C9. Obviously, C9 is way too high up here. I would say that's a pretty big outlier. Then Lev, Sen, and Crew are in B tier, and V and EG in C tier, which is a bit too high, I would say. And Loud in D tier, I've underestimated them by a lot, especially with Erde coming in. They have looked really good. And yeah, with a lot of the other teams, as I've said, with the teams in the playoffs, I've got no clue which team is good and which team will do well. I do feel like Energy are a bit too high up, but yeah, overall, I think it's just a lot of guessing. And yeah, let's get right into the power rankings, so I can talk about it a bit more, why I feel a bit iffy about these teams. And I would say probably the best way to go about this is starting with the teams that have not made playoffs, and that would be EG, who have clearly looked like the worst team. I would put C9 down there in C tier and D tier as well. They have not looked great in any way, shape, or form, so I think that's reasonable. Then I would put in C tier, I will put Envy and Sentinels. I will put actually Sentinels above Envy, even though Envy just beat MIBR, who I still think is a good team. So because of that, you might think that Envy should be above Sen, but I feel like Envy just played with a fuck it, we out anyways attitude, and because of that, they just surprised MIBR. At least that's what I hope it was. But yeah, I've got no clue what's going on in Americas. And then Sentinels, they were beat by NRG and so didn't make playoffs. But I still think they have looked the best out of the teams that didn't make playoffs overall. Like if we look at the whole course of Stage 1, I think they've looked better overall than Envy did. And so now I would say probably the best point to start is in S tier. And before I put any teams in S tier, I want to preface it by once again saying it for the 100th time. I've got no clue which teams are good. It's so strange how any team seems to be beating any other. Like it's genuinely baffling how it keeps on happening. So many upsets, and because of that, it seems impossible to judge which teams are gonna be the best and which teams will be performing the best in playoffs. And obviously, I want to make this tier list accurate of how good they look coming into playoffs and how good I think they will perform in it. So because of that, all I can really go off of, I feel like with so many uncertainties, is teams that I just think will perform great when it comes to playoffs, and who I just think have always like been either a great team as a whole or just individually been really good. And so because of that, I would still put in S tier G2 and MIBR. Even though MIBR just got destroyed by Envy, I still kind of feel like they just got surprised by them massively, and so because of that, they lost this game. And I would still hope that they should be fine. And with G2, they have looked a bit better recently, and I just feel like, yeah, it's what I said before with these two teams. I feel like there's so much experience with the players, and with these players as a team, especially on G2, that I just think they will perform. It's like the most I can go off of to say that they would probably perform, but I can't be certain, obviously. But yeah, I feel like this is just the best that I can go off of, because it feels kind of random what's been happening in Americas. But then next up in A tier, I will put Crew at the top, then Furia, and then Left probably. I feel like they have looked a bit better than these other teams. And I know that especially with NRG, I'm going a bit against what I said about G2 and MIBR, because you might think about them the same way, that surely they'll just get it together in playoffs and they'll perform well. But I don't know, I just don't feel like that about them, to be honest. I've been really impressed with Crew. I hope that their loss was just an oopsie and maybe they learn from it. That's pretty much what I gotta hope about all of these teams, to be honest. I've been a bit higher on Left a couple of weeks ago than I am now, but I still like they could perform really well, but they have kind of a hard road in playoffs, as we'll see in the Pickems. And then Furia, I still think they're a very decent team. I do think that, like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see them at Masters London if they qualify. But I would say right now I see them as just staying outside of it, maybe. But we'll see in the Pickems whether I'll go that route. And then in B tier, I will put at the top, I will put NRG, then Loud, and then 100 Thieves, probably. I don't know. Like, I can understand it if you are higher on 100 Thieves, but I feel good about what I've seen from Loud the last 2 weeks. I still think the core of NRG is gonna perform well or is gonna perform better in playoffs than it did during the regular season. So I don't know. It was genuinely just, which team could I put reasonably below 100 Thieves if I were to put them higher? And yeah, I just came to the conclusion that it's none really, but I wouldn't be surprised if they even end up making Masters London. Like, I genuinely think this region is so open, so fucking open. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like any three of these, if you would tell me that they make it, I could believe you that it does happen. So that feels really exciting, but also it's really hard to judge and make a tier list like this. But yeah, I think this is the best I can come up with right now. And yeah, then we'll see in playoffs how wrong I am with this tier list, I guess. But now let's head into the pick'ems. And so last week I went 3-3. I got 100 Thieves upsetting Furia wrong, Loud upsetting Lev, and Envy upsetting MIBR. I do kind of feel like those have been upsets, but maybe they're just comprehensively better teams. Apart from Envy MIBR, that's clearly an upset. But with the other two, I'm really unsure on what to think about them. But yeah, for the moment, I still feel like they've been upsets, kind of. But now let's head into the playoff Pickems. And upper round 1 is so hard, so let's start in the lower of the two matches. So for G2 versus 100 Thieves, I would favor G2. I would also favor G2 above Crew, even though I think this is probably gonna be a really close match. Then Furia versus Leviathan, I think it's gonna be a really close match, and I could reasonably see it going either way. And I kind of feel like, as you've seen in my power rankings, I kind of think that Furia are probably favorites, but I just want to give it to Lev. I want to believe in the team. I think when they are, like, when it's going well for them, then it's going really well. So because of that, I just want to give that win to Lev. But I think it could be a really rough time for them, and them losing to Furia, and then maybe even losing to NRG and going out without a win out of playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised, but I want to give it to Lev. So that's what I'm doing. But I do think MIB are probably beating Lev, and I would say G2 probably make it into the grand final first. For right now, I obviously think MIBR and G2 are probably the two making it on in, but as it's been the case in both EMEA and Pacific, there have been tons of upsets and teams making it on in to Masters London that we really didn't expect, or you couldn't really expect. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it happens in Americas as well. But yeah, from an analytical standpoint, I feel like this is the most reasonable I can go off of. That wouldn't just be plain guessing, kind of, but yeah, it's still just a lot of guessing. But now let's look at the lower rounds, and then Furia, I would say probably when there's NRG, or favor Loud over 100 Thieves. Crew versus Furia could also be a really close one, but I'm gonna give it to Crew. I think Lev versus Loud, the rematch of week 5. I think it's gonna be really close again, but I think I'm gonna give it to Lev for the moment, even though Loud have looked really promising and they haven't lost their full roster yet. But I feel like they need a bit more time to really to really be up to a level where they can make internationals. Maybe for stage 2 they could do that, but for the moment I'm gonna put Lev through. But I think Lev are gonna lose to Crew then. I would say MIBR probably win versus Crew, and G2 take the grand final. But yeah, realistically, I wouldn't even be surprised if all of my picks here are wrong. I really wouldn't be surprised at all. And yeah, I hope at least a couple of them are right. But either way, I'm really excited for this playoff. And I hope that like some of the LATAM teams make it on in, because they've looked really good, Crew and Lev. Especially, I want at least one of them to make it on in. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think. Who do you have making it to Masters London? Do you disagree with any of my picks? You probably do. And yeah, tell me who's your favorites, who are you rooting for, and then we're gonna see each other probably just for the next video, which will be about Masters London. So gonna see you then.